Hello there, world of tankers! Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the mouse. This is a vehicle that you guys actually voted as the worst tier 10 in the game a couple weeks back when I asked in a poll. And it's really a tricky vehicle for me to ever understand. Not playstyle-wise, it's pretty easy to play. You angle it a little bit, 30 degrees, turn the turret the same way, and congrats, now you're using the mouse as effective as it'll ever get. What I mean the mouse is tricky at is having a really good game, because sometimes you'll play the mouse and you'll have a pretty solid battle where you get really quickly into the front line, pretty easy 3,000 damage, and it's actually enjoyable. But then you also get games in the mouse where your team falls apart in the first 20 seconds, you want death, and hate everything about the game. And these are the two very, very different types of games that you can get in the mouse. In today's video, I'm going to be showcasing a game that I played on Oasis Palms, and it is one of the craziest mouse games that I've played in the past month. And it's going to be a great example of how the mouse can be great, and it can also sometimes not be great. This is going to be one of those great situations. This is how I wish the mouse played every game. There's two major criteria to do well in a mouse. The first is that your enemy is stupid. When your enemy doesn't aim, and they don't look for weak spots, and they simply just shoot at your tank, then you're obviously going to get a lot more bounces. And the mouse, while it may not have really effective armor, like 400 millimeters at certain spots, what it does have is decent armor overall, meaning that you're going to have to A, load gold to have a decent chance of penning it when it's angled properly, but as well, you're going to have to actually look for certain weak spots, which most people don't normally do if they're bad at the game. So those are the two nice things about the mouse. It also has decent damage per shot, solid DPM, and when you're in a frontline position like this, you can actually get out a solid farm. We can see in just 3 shots I'm up to 1,320 damage, and I've already blocked 1,000. We haven't bled any health yet. Plus, you have all this health and a decent amount of armor, so even if you only block 1,000 damage, that means your tank has around 4,000 effective HP. So we're up to 1,400 damage blocked, 1,700 damage dealt. The question is, am I going to be able to block more or deal more damage in this game? 2,300 damage dealt now, still 1,300 blocked, but we can obviously see that their team is doing quite a good job at bleeding out our team. I'm going to angle towards this 113. There you go. Once again, firing a standard round. Oh, there you go. IS-7. Oh, there you go. Conf Panther bounces me. Okay, now we're at more block damage than I've dealt. 2,450 to 2,300. I bounced the IS-7, unfortunately. Continue angling here. Oh, IS-7 cuts through my lower plate. We have the Tortoise on us. Now we can see it's getting a little sus. My teammates are starting to die, and that means I am going to be in a situation trying to hold off enemy players. We're going to aim it on that Tortoise. Awful roll of 325, but we're doing okay. Still blocked more than I've dealt at this point. Oh, there you go. Another bounce. 3,000 blocked. Okay, well, we have the rear of that Kron. Unfortunately, the moment I had the shot, the Kron actually ends up moving, so I'm not able to hit that. But I do have the IS-7, so we're going to aim it right on the rear of his tank and take a nice 425 off. Oh, we're close. 3,000 blocked, 3,000 dealt. All right, well, let's move on to 113. We're going to fire a shell right at his track, stopping him and getting a pen. Oh, there you go. Another 800 block. Now we're up to 4,000 damage in total blocked, and we've dealt 3,500. We're going to aim it on the 113. Nice shell to his lower plate. We've dealt now 54 more damage than I've blocked. We got the Emil 2. We've got the Kron. Okay, well, at this point, I think I'm going to aim it on this Kron, and we aim it on his side. There you go. 488 damage. Okay, and we only have one tank left that I really care about. That is the Emil 2. I'm going to try and get a shell into the Kron, but I just don't have that angle, and I know at this point it's kind of a waste. So I'm going to turn towards the Emil. We're going to load a gold shell. Oh, man. Sometimes driving the mouse feels painful. And it's because of the gun, really. You have this just really bad gun in terms of accuracy. So we missed the first shot, but we do get the second, dealing 420 damage. And at this point, it's pretty obvious that I'm going to have dealt more than end up blocking. Another 107 ram into his vehicle. We're up to 4,999 damage. We get another pen, 5,400 damage dealt. My teammate bounces the shot, which gives me another 50 damage on the ram. And that's right. 5,500 damage dealt in this game with 4,000 blocked. A great example of the mouse, right? Certain situations in this vehicle feel really, really bad. But then you get a game like this, where everything goes well. I end up blocking a crap ton, I end up dealing a crap ton, I pull out an ace, which earns me a boatload of credit, sitting at 164,000. This is the game that every mouse lover has a dream about. But the problem is, to get a game like that, you also have to have 5 to 10 games which are really bad. Either you're too slow to actually get into the battle, and by the time you do, the game's already over, or you're in the opposite situation where you do go into the front line, but then your whole team ditches you and you get rushed by like 6 people and die. Personally, I have a love-hate relationship with this tank. I like it because of the fact that it can be really fun. I like the fact that it has armor that will get bounces against players that aren't great, and judging that most of the Blitz player base isn't great, it means you will get a lot of bounces. Not to mention the gun, while it is very poob, can also deal decent damage when it pens, and it's alright. But then you have the terrible accuracy and the terrible mobility. Like, the mouse, sure, it does feature decent power to weight. It can actually get up to 25 kilometers per hour pretty easily, but the problem is you don't go much faster than 25. I like how our 4005's mad that our team's going the correct way. Well, you have fun over there, Apple Juice. I will be supporting my team on the flank of the map that is actually important to go to. And judging that the enemy team has 2 pretty solid players in platoon, I would expect them to go over here as well. So unfortunately for us, this game's probably going to be a loss. But welcome to Blitz, right? Yep, there you go. There's the Type 71. At least we do have most of our team over towards this flank, though. We have the IS-7 over here. And we are just going to move up. The E3 went to the other flank of the map. Interesting. All right, well, we're already in a mouse situation. What is a mouse situation? Well, it's in a situation where you can't really do much because you're worried that if you over-aggress, you're going to be in a rather awkward spot. Yep, there's the mouse gun, missing an easy shot on the flat side of the IS-7. Once again, mouse moment. All right, well, we're going to move up over on the AMX-30 Proto, and there you go. Our first pen of the game for 459 damage. All right, well, the Kron is moving up as well. As much as I want to shoot this Proto, I'm going to focus the Type. And the reason why is because if I shoot him, it's going to put pressure on them to move. So if I chill right here, it's going to put them in a real awkward spot. In fact, that IS-7, I'm not sure why he actually decided to stay there, because, well, I cleared him. E4 bounces me, which is obviously pretty good. E4 also has terrible reverse speed, meaning that I can slam a shell right into his lower plate for 575. And then what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to move right over here, and he does pen me. A lot of damage, but guess what? Your reverse speed, bro. Like, are you blind? Also, I like how this 4005 spent his entire game flanking to accomplish literally nothing. But notice how this game was a win either way. This is a great mouse example. Like, this game from start to finish would not have made a difference whether I had played properly or not. It was going to be a win. And this is what you run into at the mouse, is you run into a lot of these games where they just end up being victories whether or whether not you put in the effort. And yeah, it's kind of sad in that regard, right? So we have the enemy Type 71, who I'm hoping I can get one pen into, just like that, for 447. And I ended up dealing okay. And this is kind of how I like mouse games to go. I like to get into a situation where I can actually have fun in the vehicle, where I can push, and I can get out some damage, I can win, and help my team. But would I have made a bigger impact if I was in a different, faster, heavy? Probably, to be honest. If I was in a 113 in that situation, or an IS-4, an E5, I would have been there faster, I would have gotten easier bleeds into them as they crossed, I would have probably done upwards of 4,000 damage, and that's kind of how the mouse works. So, is it a bad take? No. Do I think it's the worst tier 10 of the game? No, I don't agree with that. But I do think that it is currently in a bad spot for winning as a skilled player. Believe it or not, the mouse actually has the highest win rate in tier 10 for average players. And I think the 2 reasons why is, first of all, the average player loves to YOLO, so driving a tank that is rather slow makes it impossible for you to over-aggress and die. The other reason is because if you do over-aggress and die, you make a bigger impact by having more of your health be a meat shield for the rest of the team to farm off of. That would be my 2 reasons of guessing. But for the skilled player, the mouse is not a very good performer. it actually goes like this. If you're unskilled, you're up here, and as you get more skill, the performance of the vehicle goes down. You can drive an E100 now and have more DPM, more mobility, basically a better mouse. So, do I think it's bad? No, but I do think that it needs either A, more accuracy, or B, much more armor. I think if either of those are added to the vehicle on the upper plate, on the turret, it would make it amazing. You guys can let me know in the comments what you guys think about the mouse, but it is a little disappointing in its current state. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.